how do you run numbers on an Airbnb? Pretty simple, right? Similar to running your numbers on a single family house, only there's a few more things to take into account, right? So you've got to project your monthly income, and you do that. You can use there's this website called airdna.co, I think. And there it kind of shows you the daily rate, the occupancy for places. You actually have to pay for it, and it goes into like really a lot of detail, but just to get a rough idea, it's free, and you can just look at like the averages for an area. So you can look at the average daily rate, the occupancy, and kind of get an idea if it's feasible to do that in an area, right? The next thing you got to take into account is how much you're going to spend on furnishing and decor. That's what's going to sell your property. So you do have to spend a fair amount of money on that stuff to make it look good in pictures. And so when people get there, it's actually nice stuff and it actually lasts a long time. You need cameras, you need electronic entry, cameras for the outside, obviously, not for the inside. So you want cameras to kind of see the outside, see how many people are going in, see how many people are going out, see how many of your TVs are leaving with them, right? Stuff like that. Just kidding. But you need like electronic entry. You need pretty much locks on doors for like the cleaners, and special locks for like all that stuff. And you want all that stuff to be electronic just because it's easier. And then the other thing you have to take into account, or another thing you have to take into account, is the management. Are you going to manage it, or are you going to hire a manager? Do you have cleaners that can clean the property after every turn and make sure that it looks good? And so when people touch a counter or something, it's not sticky, or they have to go through and actually clean the place really, really nice, do all the laundry. Next thing is handymen, right? Do you have handymen that are able to go fix something right away? Because unlike in an Airbnb, when things break, you have to fix it right away because the people staying there, it's like, think about it at a hotel, right? If something weird happens and you need it fixed right away, you need it fixed right away. So a manager usually charges 20-25%. So you can put that into your kind of equation. Utilities, that's a huge one. So you pay all the utilities, right? You have to pay for cable, internet, all the stuff, power, gas, electric, water. I think I already said that, but you have to pay for all those things. You have to take care of the lawn. You got to remove snow. So there's a lot of stuff that go into the equation. So when you run your numbers on it, you have to look at, okay, here's what my projected income is going to be monthly based on the occupancy, based on the daily rate. And that's got to be an average, right? Some months you're going to have crazy, crazy high months, and then some months you're going to have crazy, crazy low months, right? So you got to kind of average it out. And see, my kind of rule of thumb is if your rental as a standard rental makes $1,500, an Airbnb maybe makes like $3,000 average a year. So kind of take those numbers and back calculate out of them the money that you have to spend up front, right? So what's your ROI on that? Take out management. If you're going to have someone else manage it, even if you manage it, you should keep that 20-25% for yourself because you're doing it, right? You don't want to do it for free. All the utilities, lawn care, cleaners, all that different stuff you have to take into account. And it's also really important to make sure that when you're figuring out your daily rate, you don't just say, you make sure you compare apples to apples, right? So like those average numbers, you have to go in there and look like, okay, what's a 2-bedroom, what's a 3-bedroom, what's a 4-bedroom, what's a 5-bedroom rent for? And you got to figure that out because that kind of goes off of how many people can sleep and stay in there. So if you're got a 2-bedroom and you're comparing it to a 4-bedroom, your numbers are going to be out of whack, right? Because most people would rather stay in a 4-bedroom with 10 people or 8 people instead of a 2-bedroom with 4 people when they're traveling because everyone wants to save money, right? So those are just some quick sort of things to kind of keep in mind when you're trying to figure out if you want to do an Airbnb or not. Hope it helps. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.